So I will make sure that we are talking to the rest of the group. So I have rounded up a couple Stitchies to come and hang out and show off how they filled out the planner so far, sort of what they've put in the progress section in terms of like goals and things they have for the year. We also have some sneak peeks that are going to happen on the butterflies because we've got casts with those finished, and Ashley has a couple Stitchets to give a sneak peek on that are going to come out in February and March. So yeah, we're just going to hang out, talk about the planner, talk about your stitching. You guys are welcome to show off what you're working on if you have it with you. Easy going that way.
Are we really live? Because I'm not seeing.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to pop in.
Okay.
I got a notification on my phone saying we were live.
Yeah, it takes a minute.
It says in the corner live.
Did I put us in the right? Yes, I did put the right group. That would have been cute.
Is now live. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, it takes. Mine's still not kicking in yet, but I'm sure it'll eventually. Oh, there we go. I just have it up so that I can see the comments because in my program it just says Facebook user that says hello everyone is actually Rachel Burton says hello. So hello, we are Rachel. Live and working, and we have a mini Stitchie getting her hair done.
Oh.
So this is the mini Stitchie that commandeered my to-do list. I was like, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm showing her all the platter, and she's like, where are the princesses you said you make for me? And I'm like, I never said that. She's like, yes, I saw them. Remember we looked on that store where you buy stuff? Like, oh, yeah. She picked out 7 princess patterns. So she's like, you're going to do those first. Let's go pick the colors now.
So you have a project manager.
Oh, yeah. She's like, please make the top of the list. We're going to go get the colors together right now and the fabric downstairs. So you start on it.
Of course.
So my planner is a little bit out of whack because of my little mini manager here.
She's probably in there writing for you, princess.
Oh, yeah. She's like, that one's for me, right? Because that goes on top. I just saw someone post in the group, because I was like coloring in the little X's for how many stitches I've done. And I'm like, man, there's got to be a better way of doing this. And then I saw someone put stickers. I'm like, man,
I had one of the Stitchies, and I can't for the life remember who it was, put these in with the Christmas cards. They're little frogs.
Oh.
She uses those on each X, and she put a bunch in the Christmas card.
Those are cute. I used a highlighter last year because it's got the fat tip, and I would just...
Yeah, that's what I end up doing as a highlighter, too.
I'm coloring that in with like a pencil crayon.
Yeah, I've used coloured pencils for the crosses, but I've used like little love hearts on the bobbins, for which day you've stitched. I've used little love hearts for those.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been putting little stickers on the daily tracker. Little heart.
I need to do that.
So who would like to chit-chat first? Cass, you want to show off your butterflies? Let me see if I can make you first.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
Okay. Let me just, I'm trying to get them into the camera.
That's the 2024 butterflies?
Yeah. Those are the ones that are in the planner.
You've been busy.
I actually started them in December. And my goal was to finish them before 2 o'clock today. I was on a mission. I was so happy that I completed it. So it's in a frame for now, but it is going to probably be turned into a little pillow for my friend's daughter's birthday.
That'd be lovely.
There you
go. She's obsessed with butterflies, so the perfect little gift.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. I need to learn to transform my stuff. I've made ornaments on plastic canvas, and other than that, they all go in frames because I don't really know. I made a little one for Halloween. I'm like, I'm going to turn this into a pillow. It's definitely still flat in the spare bedroom doing nothing.
Well, for the Disney gnomes, I turned them all into little stuffies, and they're on my shelf.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're going to need to do a tutorial of that.
She did. It's already in. It's already in the hub. So Cass did do a tutorial
Where have I
for
been?
that. Yeah, sleeping.
Clearly, I need to be looking in a little bit more.
And then I think in the next week or two, I'm going to do one on turning the stitch along, like Stitchmas and stuff, into clocks.
Yes.
So you can do that. I just want to be out of my boots so I can run around my room a little easier, not stub my toe on something.
My sister got me, kind of pushed me into doing something other than stitching into frames. So at Christmas time, I did pillows. Now, I don't have a sewing machine, so I had to do them by hand, which
Oh my
wasn't
goodness.
too bad for my first time out. But I already have an idea. So I stitched her name, and she's on here now, kind of moral support.
I was going to say, is that Christine?
Yep.
I was going to say, because I saw you tag her and then she's in here. She said hello, and Jericho says hello, and Doris says hello.
And so I did her name in flamingos. That's
Oh, yes, I remember seeing that
Oh,
one.
that's cool.
and I had saved that. I said, okay, well, let's do something other than, the typical, everything goes in a frame. So this year I have another idea to do her name in something else. So she'll have matching pillows.
Oh, that
It's a
sounds
secret.
really
Don't
cute.
tell her.
The secret, I can't. Yeah, I can. So I got to be careful what I show on my planner.
Yeah, hide this part.
So yes, she doesn't see it, but pillows they're actually not that bad to do by hand, as long as you're not talking about something that's
It's like really big.
tremendously big. 12 by 12 is a pretty good size to be able to do it by hand. It goes pretty quick. You're talking about a blanket stitch or a straight stitch. So
I'll have to look into that because I found space out in the space alphabet, and my friend's daughter loves space. I'm like, oh, like I'll write her name, and then I'm like, what kid wants a frame thing with their name? Like, she's turning 5, so she'll be like, hey.
Yes.
But I'm like, a pillow would be like pretty cool idea. At least they can get to use it, and it's not just
Not just on their wall.
Yeah.
So that's how, we're talking about using the planner. So I got to cover up the surprise. So wait, and go over here. Get my fingers out of the way. So that's how, I'm trying to set myself up this year of the different things to do. And I was just reminded I have 2 baby showers that are actually on the same day in February, which reminded me, I have 2 baby things I need to make. So either as cross stitch or even to do some plastic canvas. So that's, this is the 2024 Stitchy Goals page, the very first page of the planner. And trying to use my stickers. I do want to get more stickers. Having the ideas down there, and shout out to the Satin House, the yellow.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's right. You're in.
So hopefully this year, I set a goal to do 75,000 stitches. If I can get to 10,000 stitches a month, that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah. I think that was my goal last year.
But
That's my goal.
even, we have the daily stitching tracker. Right now I'm highlighting them in pencil, but gonna fill up every bobbin.
Every day.
Gonna
I've missed a few days, so I don't have them all.
Gonna color in every bobbin to do a few stitches at least each day. So we'll have 365 days of stitches. We'll see how that goes, because in the summertime, I tend to spend more of my time outside. But even at night, if I come in and do a little bit of work, maybe
I actually had somebody bring it to my attention that there is 365 bobbins, but it's a leap year this year. So technically the little other bobbin on there can be 366. He can be the final day. I completely forgot it was a leap year.
We got our leap year this year, so.
Yeah, or you just have a grace day. So you could get 365 days and miss one day, and you'd still fill it all up.
That's what I'm hoping, because when I was filling out my this part here where you read like how many stitches you do. Well, I was away at the cottage and it was so dark I couldn't cross stitch. So now it's like bugging me that I only have one day where like I have nothing written, and I'm like, come on. I'm like, I really wanted to fill out the whole thing, but at least with here I kind of filled it out, and it'll give me that extra day that I need.
Yeah.
If it helps, at the end of the month, I'll be feeling the same way. I'm going to be looking at my planner and being so disappointed in myself that I didn't do any stitches that week.
Now, what I've been finding helpful, because I've discovered I have at least an ottoman, a square ottoman, storage ottoman full of project bags of projects. So, like our cupcakes this year.
So
I have a whole project bag already for the monthly cupcakes and to do the layout and all that. And the boxes are in here, and I forget about them.
Put them away and they're out of sight.
And I have a storage cabinet, the Bissell for the acrylic bobbins and the insert. So I'll go in there and I'm like, where is this bobbin? Okay, the bobbin is missing, so it means it's in a project. Well, the project tracker, I can figure out where all my bobbins are.
That's so smart. I didn't think of doing that. Yeah, because I definitely did the same thing. I was stitching and I'm like, where's 604? I know I have 604 somewhere, and I have like 4 or 5. I only have 4 or 5, but they're like big the stitch alongs that had like every month had a thing. And so I'm like, I did all the frames, and then now I'm like doing the insides of them, but I had put all the colors with all of them so that they'd all be the same. But now I'm like, it's got to be somewhere. I was like digging through, and then I have a bag, which I decided I was going to organize, but I have a bag of like when I'm done little ones, I kind of just huck them all in the bag, and then eventually I put them back in order in my thing. So when I saw it on the Stitchy board, I was like, oh, look, I'm going to have
to organize.
I'm going to go do something with my baggie.
Little bags of, yeah, exactly. The loose ones are at least not my acrylic bobbins, all the extra stuff. And there are works in progress, the whips that I have in project bags that I started years ago. There's a certain project that I got a boatload of bobbins in that I started last summer and didn't realize, where the heck are all my colors? Oh, well, they're in this one. So now with those tracker pages, I can see what colors are needed in what project. So if I'm trying to find a color that I don't already have multiple bobbins of, go find it in this project bag. So that's part of my commitment this year, investing in these planners. This is my 3rd year getting the planner. And each year I have great intentions of using it, and a couple months, or, I'll use it for here and there, but I haven't actually stuck with it, with using the planner, even though I'm stitching and all that. I focus more on the monthly counts. Well, this year with this investment, I'm going, I'm actually going to use it. There's a lot of good stuff in here.
Yeah.
And I had posted the picture in the group, the dot pages for designing.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, well, I want to start doing that this year. I want to start figuring out something to design. I said, well, we have enough pages, so.
If there's one every month, so you can doodle something each month.
Yeah, there's a lot of great ideas in here. Amanda, each year has gotten better and better.
Well, I don't take credit for it all, because I literally, the back page of my book here, and I've already started for next year, is ideas for the next year. So I've got the page in the back of each planner, because I start creating this in March.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean? I've got only 2 months before I start working on next year. So I'm taking all the feedback that people, as they're digging into it for the first couple months, and then I'm trying to, without obviously making it this big Bible worth of things, try to keep it condensed enough so that it is somewhat portable, but give everybody kind of the stuff they need. And then I know, like this year, a lot of people were asking for just those organizing pages, which I posted up today. But I'm looking into a couple of other ideas with printed products once I have actual space to house these things because I have to bring them in bulk. I'm hoping to bring in some like sort of similar to the Stitchy notebooks that we did this year, but with actual, not just grid paper in it. I've got some ideas for like progress tracking and stitch count tracking and stuff like that. So those will be more and more stuff, more and more things. Jericho's here too, and Sharon is here.
Something else that I started doing this year. So each has like a calendar to it to take some notes. So I'm taking advantage of tracking. Okay, well, what did I do that day? What project did I work on? Did I have a new start? What are the whip notes down in the bottom, the counts like that. Let's see, today. Now, the other day, I had posted, I think in the Stitchy page, that I used a friend's video of snow to stitch during snow. Well,
yes, I remember you saying that.
I got about 10 minutes of my own, so I got to jot that down here that I got my own snow.
Yeah, some places are getting snow that don't usually, and I'm like, that's so funny that it was in the board this month, and there's like Arizona's getting snow and like all these other places. I'm like, how convenient. I know Australia's not going to get any snow, but
They can take all the snow my way. I'll take all that snow.
yeah, Cass, you can have all our snow. We got like 40 centimeters in 2 days.
Wow.
So there's a lot of nice, there's a nice variety of pages to be able to write some stuff down.
That's what I like about it, because like with the planner, and the same deal is like I write everything down here that I want to do for the week, and then I write down each day what I was working on or other little notes. So that's kind of what I like about it too. Is I like the fact that I can just keep adding stuff and keep track of everything that I'm doing for the day.
Well, I must admit, Amanda had to sell me on the planner. I've only been cross-stitching for about 2 years, and I was printing out the monthly challenges, and I was like, nah, that's fine. And then I'd like lose the pages, and then I'd have to reprint them, and then I have to remember what I did. And I was like, but I don't need it. I'm like, no, I don't need it. It's fine. And then she's like, are you sure? And I was like, okay, fine, I'll get it. So I got
Twist
it.
your rubber arm, right?
Yeah. And then I'm like, first of all, it's super pretty. I'm like loving this like hardcover. And my daughter helps me color it too, so she has fun with that. And I think my favorite part is definitely the project planner. Like you were saying, you can write like all the bobbins that you have. Because what I was doing in my project bags, I would leave the list of floss. So at least I only had to pull out the list of floss. But then I had to open all the bags, and then some of them are upstairs, some of them are downstairs. So now with this, it's like everything's in here, and I'm like, oh, this is so genius. Amanda was so right. And even as I'm using it, there's still more stuff that I can use it for. So I'm super excited. I do cross stitch quite a bit. So my goal for the year was actually 110,000. Because I cross stitch about 300 stitches a day, at least. So I did about 300 times 365. So that one pesky day, I have to catch it up somewhere else. But so far, so good. And I really like that all the, because as I was doing the monthly challenges on my handy paper that I'd lose 3 times, I'd throw it out at the end of the month. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that? So at least now I can kind of see every month, like where I got, how many stitches I got that month. And then I can go back and say, oh, this month, that like obviously in the winter, I'll stitch more than in the summer. In the summer, I spend a lot of time in my pool. And then I can see how many I've done like every month. So I can kind of compare and kind of plan accordingly. If I want to make Christmas gifts, well, I should probably start in January and not like in November, because I'm going to run out of time. So it's going to help me be a lot more organized, which is my plan. And I'm part of another group. It's called Floss in Space. And we have to post kind of a progress pictures with how many stitches we've done. And I used to wait, because we have to post once every 5 days, and I would wait, and then I'd have to find stuff and take pictures. So now with the planner, because I'm writing it down every day, I'm like, hey, I'll take a picture and I'll post it in that group too. So it's helping me be organized in more than one group. So now I'm super happy. I feel like I'm contributing a lot more in my group, and I'm staying organized with the planner. So I'm actually really using it every day, Amanda. You were right.
Yeah, see, I told you would. I don't lie. I don't try to sell things just because I want them out of my house.
I was like, oh, I'm like, no, it's okay. And I didn't think I was going to use it this much. It is only January, so we'll see come December. But once I start something and I get in the habit of doing it, then, and since it's so pretty, I can kind of just leave it on I have a little window between my kitchen and my living room, so I can put it there and it looks like it's a display piece. And people are like, oh, what's that? And then I'm like, let me show you all the things I do.
This is all my things. Let me talk about it.
Yeah, right?
You just opened a door you didn't want to open.
Yeah, you should not have said anything because, oh boy.
And it comes, you get the nice pen with it. This is only my planner pen.
Yep.
Can't use this pen for anything else.
Yeah, so stay in its little slot, which was another new thing this year, was that pen holder.
I still have last year's pen. And still, even though, this was with last year's planner, it's still only a planner pen.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that does these things.
And
I leave it with it, and the girls, she's like, that's for your special book. Yes, it is. Don't
That's
touch
the
it.
book pen, only the book pen.
Yeah, it's not to do the grocery list or to write down a telephone message. That is for the planner, and it stays near the planner. And I actually look forward to writing in it each night, saying, updating it with, how many stitches. And this, a few months ago, I finally checked out Pattern Keeper and I have it on the tablet.
My God, it's light. Love that thing.
It makes this whole thing so much more fun. I'm not sitting there trying to go, okay, 3, then one stitch over here, trying to count confetti stitch. It's I don't know why I didn't. People have been talking about it for years. And so updating, transferring the Pattern Keeper information to the planner each day has been a lot of fun. So the challenge, and I'm meticulous about keeping notes and tracking, and so that's another reason why this is just kind of fun for me, because I just like doing those kind of things and being organized.
You must be a list person.
I was going to say, a lot of cross stitchers are list people or paper people, so it goes really well.
Yeah.
Jericho says Pattern Keeper's the only reason she counts stitches.
Yep.
Because some people will find it stressful to do it without.
I was
a program
seriously
that does
the
it.
first year counting it. Like, I was like, okay, this is 10. This is how many? Okay, and then and at the end of every line, I would write how many stitches, and then I'd tally them all up. And I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah, I had to go do a paper when Ashley sent me some Tinkerbell ones, and I did one of them, and I'm like, oh, I have to remember how to count without the program.
Yeah. And then I'm like, does that one look like this one? I'm like, why aren't they just highlighted on the paper? I like that you can search by color, and I even uploaded some paper ones. I took a picture and I uploaded it, and I tinkered with it until it worked on Pattern Keeper, because it was just not working for me, the having to count on paper thing.
I like Pattern Keeper. The only thing is that it doesn't count the half stitches, and it doesn't do back stitching.
Yeah.
So it's fine with me. When I use Pattern Keeper, I also have to have the paper copy in front of me just in case there's any back stitching. And
yeah, I do my back stitching at the end, so then I just open the PDF on my phone and I kind of follow it like that. I know Markup does the back stitching.
Yeah, like Pattern Keeper, you can just go out of the pattern and open the PDF, and you can see your back stitching, but it doesn't count it. You just have to.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, I've made it work. And I usually, when it comes to back stitching for myself, I usually just like go, okay, I did 100. Like I lowball the number, and like I'm not particular on like I need to know exactly how many I did. I'll just rough guesstimate it, or sometimes
it felt like 1,000, so it must be 100.
Yeah, it felt like forever. Especially when I'm trying to back stitch on like 28 count.
Oh yeah.
Like when I did the Cutesy Express one, and I go to back stitch it all, and I had that one. Sorry, that one's on 32. 1/1, so very tiny, and I'm trying to do all the detail on all those characters, and I'm like, I was cross-eyed. I'm like, this felt like forever, but it looks so good.
That's it. It adds so much. Like if it didn't add so much, I'd be like,
I
man,
wouldn't,
it's fine,
yeah.
it doesn't need it.
Exactly.
But then you're like, it
Makes a
looks
big
okay, and then
difference.
you add the backstage, and you're like, oh my god, it's amazing. So at least it's worth it.
Yeah. And Sean says that Domino Ann's pen broke. I'll message you later and we'll fix up a pen for her. Jericho says, yeah, I already said that she only counts because of Patterns Keeper, and she said the planner helped her convert from a homemade Excel sheet, which took so much time, to a 5-minute job at the end of the day logging everything in the planner. So we don't need to be on the computer and all that stuff. I know I just literally at the end of my day when I'm done stitching, I'll take a picture with my phone and I'll just like of how many stitches I do. And when I pop, because I go to the computer every morning to do all of my stitchy related things, I'll fill it in from my picture. So I just I have a record of what I did, because I know Pattern Keeper doesn't do that. I really wish it would.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Like
Or
a back
tally
a
of
report.
like, doesn't matter what pattern you're uploaded, your daily tally for everything.
Yeah,
That's
and just
sometimes if
somewhere
I
you can go
there
look
on
at
a
it.
few, then I had to go on every single one to check. I mean, obviously you're not working on 6 patterns every day, but that would be fun if it would tally everything and not just per pattern.
Mhm.
But you know, there's always room for improvement for everything. So
Yeah, and they take suggestions. I know there's a lot of stuff they're working on too.
yeah, they have a Facebook group and like they're pretty responsive, so which is nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have a stitching with Pattern Keeper, something like that. They have, and you can go in and give feedback, or if you have questions on how to use the program, there's a ton of knowledge in there. Sam, what about you? She's been quieter.
I'm using mine to be accountable this year. I've decided that I'm doing no new starts this year. So I'm using mine to try and stay accountable. So this is my 2024 Stitchy goals page. And yeah, I'm just trying to stay accountable. So I've got new starts this year. It's got none.
And it's supposed to say 0 every month.
For new starts, 0 starts every month until I get to the middle of December, and then I can start things again. But yeah, I'm finding it really good. The daily stitching tracker, I'm enjoying that.
Oh yeah, you put the hearts, you said.
Yeah, I'm putting little hearts over the bobbins for tracking what day I'm doing what. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And one of the pages that I really like is the project planner pages, because I put my big project into that. I can't get the page open. So, this is one of the ones that I'm doing at the moment. And for this project, which is Ocean's Little Wonders. And every month you can set yourself a goal for how many stitches and if you achieve your goal or not. And if you work out the size and how many stitches you've got, you can then work out how many stitches you need each month to finish it by a certain date. I haven't actually used that bit to do that, but I have set myself a goal on my Night Ravens of 500 stitches a month, because it's probably the project that I hate stitching the most because it's so confetti heavy. But I really like the effect of it. So yeah, I'm really liking the project planner pages as well. So they're probably my favourite pages at the moment.
See, you're all about no new starts, and I'm all about the new starts. My goal for the end of the year is just to finish those 4. Well, I have 3 of them that were stitch alongs. One of them is the Let's Play game. I got the frame done, and then I kind of put it in a bag and forgot about it. So now I started to pick up. I did Yoshi, and then I was like, and then my little mini manager took over, and
now it's princesses.
Princess heavy. But I also have a tree skirt, which was like I'm like, I'm gonna do something big. Like it was my first big project, and then I decided to throw a whole bunch of other ones in there. So I want to finish those by the end of the year, and then all the patterns I've bought that I was making for someone or for some reason, I want to finish them, or at least get to half my list, which is I ran out of room in the planner in the new starts this year. But I want to get at least half of them done before I can even buy another pattern. That's my, I mean, the stitchy patterns don't count because I don't buy them technically.
Yeah, there's just lots of them.
They're just included. But because I have so many of my favorites list on Etsy, and then every time they're on sale, I'm like, I gotta buy it because it's on sale. But then I'm like, okay, but am I really gonna stitch that before like Boxing Day when there's gonna be another sale?
Another sale, yeah.
Not. So I'm forcing myself to stitch the ones I have and make them for the people I want to make them for, and then I can get more, because I'm just buying, and then I keep finding new stuff, and then I forget about the old stuff, and
Yeah, last year my goal was the no new start thing because I wanted to get a lot done on the stained pieces I have, because like I've been working on that for I think 6 years now. Halfway through the year, I think I had 7 finishes that were not my stained ones. So I did not get my no new starts. So this year I didn't say I'm not going to start, but I'm ideally wanting to get. I have I think 6 pieces on my stained ones done, not done, started, and I want to try to get those 6 at least to half.
How many stitches are there per?
Each panel is 62,000.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm just gonna. This is where I was at the beginning of the year. So because it's one big piece, I kind of took over a bunch of the squares on the box. So ideally, I want to get them so I can move on to the last 2 and roll my frame up. Thankfully, it looks nice on my stand and pretty in my living room. So because it's been there for 6 years.
It's always good when it's good.
Yeah, so I'm trying to focus on them.
Doing the BU ones, and if I can get one of those done, then maybe I'll tackle this.
Yeah, so those are going to be more solid colors than these, because these ones are very confetti heavy.
Yeah.
For anybody like these, this was the first patterns first of all, I made myself. And the first ones when I hadn't been stitching for probably 10-15 years, and I'm like, I'm going to do these, and I decided I'm starting with this big project on 28 count, which is half the size I've ever stitched on. So that's how I started back. But if it's brand new, I would ease into them, because they would get frustrating to some, because you can look at a 10 by 10 square and there's probably 30 colors in it, but at the end it looks really good and worth the frustration that it can cause sometimes.
It's definitely one that I'm going to grid for. I've never grid before, so I want to look at a video so that if I take on something confetti heavy, like the picture I sent you that I want to do, yeah, I'm going to need to grid, because I definitely don't grid. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, if there was a grid, I would not have fudged this up.
Yeah, there's a training in the hub too for gridding.
Yeah. Because I just like, in my head, it makes no sense to me. I'm like, okay, do I like put a line and then count 10 and then put another line, or is it on this side? And then I'm like, no. So I'm like, not gridding. I'm like, this is too confusing. But if I do one that's confetti heavy, I'm not going to have a choice. And I feel like it's going to make it so much easier. I can just look, okay, it's 2 up, 3 left. Okay, I can put 1 here, because I'm not going to count 17 and then 4 and then to try to confetti. Like, that's going to frustrate me for sure.
Yeah, when it comes to like confetti stuff, I will only go over probably less than 10 squares in one color. Like, I try not to jump too far to save my counting, because I don't have it gridded. So I try to just stay within a certain range, because I can't. After 10, I'm like, I can't count any further than that. I start to screw it up. So I think, Ashley, you grid like half, don't you, sometimes?
Yeah, so I use, I forgot what it's called. There is a thing that it's like Easy Grid or something like that. It's a really tiny spool for like a few bucks. I find if you get colored fishing line or even just clear fishing line from, I mean, you can get a giant spool from Amazon for
A lot cheaper, yeah.
A lot cheaper. Or if you like, sometimes like I'll just use some of my black floss, like on, well, here, I'll show it off right now.
Oh yeah.
The Stitchees, I have like a frayed piece of black right here that I use just to kind of help me grid. So this is a 30 by 30 square. I took the rest of it out because it was fraying and I was stitching over it. By the way, here's February and March.
Those are so pretty.
But I will use like spare pieces of floss, or I'll use the colored fishing line, and I will literally I'll do 10 and then I'll, flip my fabric over, do 10 in the back. So I usually go by 10, or sometimes if it's a really big piece, I'll do like 20 or 25. Like, I think I have a whip, which is, it's by another designer, but it's the Fab 50 stitch along. Sorry. My stomach is growling. You can hear.
Ashley just woke up.
Breakfast time.
Sorry. But it's a Disney stitch along, which actually is completed. But that was the first time I gridded. Of course, it was a large project. Of course, I screwed it up immediately, like within the first 100 stitches. So that's been in timeout. But I actually count my gridded stitches as part of my stitch count, because if I do I'll do it's like counting back stitching in a way.
Yeah.
But it does take some time and some patience. Some people use This isn't the brand, but it's like an erasable pen.
Yeah.
Of course, tested. They also have those water soluble pens,
Yeah.
which I have one, but I've been a little bit nervous to test it on fabric.
Yeah,
so-
actually, Amy, one of the other Stitchees, uses those water soluble ones all the time, and it's literally like you just spray water on them, like they come off super easy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like the easy grid fabric as well.
Yep.
So the project I've got at the moment here, this has got the easy grid fabric,
Mhm.
and I quite like that. So yeah, but you do have to suck up the bravery to put it into ridiculously hot water. I found that I had to boil my kettle and put my stitch into boiling hot water, which
Hope it
when
doesn't run.
when it was a red piece that I had to do that with, it took a lot. It didn't run, and it was all good, but it did take a sort of big moment where you've got to take that deep breath and actually just go, oh, let's just do it and hope for the
Yeah.
best. But
I had one.
It did do it, and it was really good.
Yeah, I had one piece that was like super old, like one of the first ones I've ever stitched, like back 20 years ago. And I pulled it out of a box, and it had some random, I'm going to call it a mystery stain because it has been in that box. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to wash it. And then I'm like, I don't even know what brand this kit was because it was like an old school. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. I put water on this thing. So it's just like, close your eyes and put it in. I hope it goes.
It's kind of a catch-22 situation because you've done the stitching and now you've got this beautiful piece that you've finished, and you've now got to try and get rid of this grid or the stain or any marks or anything somehow, because it's of no use with those bits on it. So you've got to just sort of suck it up and do it in it. But it is a full-on moment when you do it.
Close your eyes, hope for the best.
Yeah, or get your husband to do it because it's a lot easier then.
The other option are heat pens, and that's what I use, so that when you iron, the grid doesn't go away.
I haven't
known
heard of
about
those. I'll have to check that out.
Because I don't wash my patterns after I've never done it in the 40 some odd years, 35 years. I don't wash them, but I always iron before. So the heat, I found them on Amazon, and they last pretty good. They had a warning, about how long they may last, if it's only about 6 months. I got them at least a year ago. So, and they had given me a coupon for a free comes with refills, and I think they gave me a coupon for another set of refills, and iron them out. Nice hot iron, and they go away. I make a lot less mistakes on stuff that I've gridded because I have a better way of counting.
Yeah.
I see the 10. I can compare because I'll grid the same way that the pattern is.
Yeah.
So that
was my plan.
Okay, I got to go over here somewhere. But okay, where's that random space? Okay, well, it's 2 over from that side. It's 3 up from this line. Okay, now I know exactly where it needs to go.
Well, that's what happened when I was doing my tree skirt. It was like, I think I had done maybe 5 or 6 projects in the first 6 months. And I had decided to learn like a month before I gave birth. And then I was like, well, I'll be on mat leave. I'll have all this time. Joke. So my second baby was not a sleeper, but I definitely didn't grid my tree skirt. And then I got to one point and I was like, this doesn't make sense. I'm just going to fudge this. And I'm like, whatever, the rink's going to be a little bit bigger. And I'm like, it's not really a big deal. It's for me. But for something that like has a face and stuff, like you wouldn't want an eyeball over here and an eyeball over here and then kind of distorted look. But I mean, what I was doing, it was like an outdoor scenery, and then it had like little people, but the people were so small they didn't have eyes and stuff. So I'm like, hey, I'll just put the face is gonna go here, so this is just gonna be more snow over there. But yeah, if I do any more big projects, that's definitely
I actually saw somebody in the group with the layout for the cupcakes used, I'm thinking it was the water soluble pens, and drew out all of the back stitching of where the boxes are, and drew out like the outlines of the sprinkles and all that stuff, so that it's pretty much the pattern, so you can kind of follow where everything is, and did the whole thing, the whole layout's there in water soluble pen, so they can follow the back stitching and then fill in all the sprinkles. I thought that was a pretty creative way to.
I find it so cool that we all do the same thing and everyone has such different techniques.
I'm still learning. It's been like
Like,
6 years
it's
of doing
so
this, and I'm
cool.
still. That's why I'm like, I'll write these things down. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have to pick that person's brain, just like Heather says. Oh, I made pillows with by hand. I'm gonna pick Heather's brain and then make a training to put in our Stitch Hub. And
Yeah.
like, it's just because there's so many different things that I don't know everything. I'm not nearly an expert, but there's so many people that have so many different ideas. So I'm like, I'll write them down. I'll be like, I'll make sure to go talk to this person or that person.
Like, I absolutely love the plastic canvas. And again, Mini Manager went on Pinterest. Why I showed her that, I don't know. But she sat there and found all these, because we were doing perler beads patterns. So she found all the ones she wanted to do in perler beads and decided she also wanted me to cross stitch them to make magnets. So I had, I think it was it October last year? We had like a finishes or something like
September,
that.
I think.
Yeah, I ended up with like 30 finishes that month because I made so many of these little stinking things, and I made them on plastic canvas, and I was like, this is so easy. And then when I made my Halloween house, I don't know if you guys saw my post about the Halloween house. Not a fan of plastic canvas anymore. I was like, nope, this is not, there was so much stitching. Like, the pattern said like 50 hours, and I'm like, bah, I could do it a lot faster. Definitely not. Like, I had like holes in my fingers from pushing the needle through when it's like that last stitch that needs to go through on the 14, and it's all like hard. Yeah, nope. I was like, I'm gonna put plastic canvas away for a while, and it's gonna
Go back to normal fabric.
Yeah, I'm like, nope. And then I'm like using the normal Ada, and I'm like, oh, this is so easy.
Well, that's like my cousin does like machine embroidery stuff. So she had gotten a friend's ultrasound done in the machine stuff and sent it to me. And I'm like, great, I'll just embellish it with her name and I'll put footprints. I had all these plans, right? It got here. I did the name and I'm like, this hurts my fingers so much going through the fabric and her back support stuff. And like, my fingers were so raw. I'm like, the name, and that's what's going to happen. I'm like,
yeah, I had like,
I put a heart.
I had put like a Band-Aid, and then I had put like a piece of like duct tape and tape over so that I could push the needle through because I really want to get it done for Halloween. I finished it at like noon on the 31st.
You see, I can't stitch unless I wear a thimble. I have to wear my actual thimble.
I'm gonna have to get one,
and I can't stitch without it. But it's because I stitch using the back of my finger. I use my nail bed. So I end up with it really sore. So I have to use a thimble so that I don't end up with all the pain from doing that.
See, I push like using like under here, and my hands get really dry, and then they crack, and they're like bleeding everywhere. Like, it's just, and I'm like, my project.
Don't get blood on.
Honestly,
I don't care about anything else.
Try an actual thimble, a proper metal thimble.
Yeah, because I bought a rubber one, and the needle definitely just went through.
You have to find exactly the right size. If you get the wrong size, it's completely wrong and feels horrible. But once you find the right size and you find the right manufacturer for you, you'll never look back again. You'll never not stitch with one.
I'm definitely gonna check that out.
There's other thimbles that are so yes, because as you're talking about that, I'm like, just get a thimble. It's got it.
That would have been a simple solution.
There are other ones that are it's like a patch for your finger. Like, you would have elbow patches for sports packets. They have those type of, and it's like a Band-Aid type of thing, but of course it's more hardy. So that if you have a hard time or you're uncomfortable with having something on your finger, then you have like this touch pad. They probably would look like corn pads. You know, if you have corn left feet, it's because they're round, they're circles. I originally saw them on Amazon.
So like a fancier version of my duct tape and tape and
something that you actually have to pay for. You know, somebody came up with this idea that says, oh, well,
I'm going to market this now because this is genius. Yeah.
After they put duct tape and Band-Aids on their fingers.
There's got to be a prettier way of doing this. My finger was all wrapped, and I'm like, this is just
your company
ridiculous. I'm stitching and I'm all angry about it.
Yeah, so your hair doesn't get stuck to it, and lint and cat fur.
Yep, and every time I had to like stop stitching because I would stitch like before I'd get the kids, and I had to rip everything out, and then I'd make dinner, and then I'd stitch at night. I had to redo it all, and I'm like, this is just ridiculous. My husband's looking at me like, I'm gonna get this done for Halloween. I'm done with this thing.
Just get a thimble, pop it on and off.
Yep.
Like a
now it's by thimble.
Pen cap.
Yeah, I always have hand cream with me when I'm cross stitching because my fingers get so dry.
Yep. I can't remember if it was one of you. I'd posted. I'm like, is there something with the gold needles? And one of them had like the golden eyelid at the top, and it was actually like peeling all of the skin off my thumb. I don't know if I reacted to it or what. I went back to just DMC like plain needles, and they were fine. And I haven't had issues other than my normal cracking. But yeah, the ones that had the gold on it, like it would like peel back my whole skin. Like I was like, I'm like, maybe I'm stitching too much, and I'm counting my stitches. I'm like, definitely not. So then someone was like, maybe it's the needle. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that too. There's some people that are like allergic to like nickel or different things. So they have to find needles that are very specifically not. A lot of them are made like are the same material. So they have to find certain ones that are because their hands just react to different.
Yeah, I think it was the anchor ones I had that had some gold in it. And I was just like, I don't know what they use on them, but I tried different ones and it wouldn't go away. And then I went back to stitching with just the DMC just because those are probably the ones I had at the beginning and I didn't realize. And I was like, please be these ones because I just bought a whole bunch. So then
now I have a lot.
Okay.
I just got the DMC gold needles. I had gotten gold needles from a different brand and the gold wears off.
Oh.
So, and they just look like regular. Yeah, they look like regular silver needles. I'm going, well, what the heck did I pay for? So I got DMC ones. I had gone into Michael's and said, oh, well, let me try. Nope, gold wore off.
Yeah, I think it's just plated on the outside. So yeah, like your hand oils like that. I've got regular plain silver needles that'll turn like a dark gray because your hands are touching them so much. Yeah. It tarnishes them no matter what.
Yeah,
so I don't know what you pay extra for.
Cheapest 50, okay?
Yeah, I love the bullhead needles, but they've proven to be really hard to get hold of, and I'm down to like my last sort of like 10 of them, so I'm getting very twitchy in case I start losing them because I'm down to you now. I like bullhead needles, but they're not gold plated; they're normal.
All right, my mini manager needs me, so I'm gonna let you guys go.
Thank you for coming and hanging out.
It was nice hanging out with you guys. That's it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
It's always funny to have the little ones pop in. Misty's, I think, was the most entertaining that one day. He was in there. Oh my God. He was cross-stitching with mom and he was cross-stitching. I don't know how she handled it. He was cross-stitching on her. That was the minis from 2 years ago because it had the apple and all those
2022.
Yeah, and he's like, Mom, I stitched the eye. And he turns it around and he's got thread through everything. I'm like, how is Misty doing this? So now it's a like constant joke in the group that he stitches the eye.
Now, Amanda, behind you, is that one of the stitchy blankets?
Yes.
I don't have
bobbin blanket.
Mine are on the other side.
I also have it in my Tumblr, and I have it on my phone. I have Flossie on my arm.
Yeah, show her off.
I'm committed to here. That's my tattoo artist. Last time I went in, she added Flossie on there. So I'm committed to my bobbins and my stitchies permanently.
You know, so I just found the post and I'm hoping it's the right person, but Melanie, who I think is a stitchy, Melanie Berube.
Yeah.
So she posted an idea that she had for the planner that she's been doing. I think what she did was she took a picture of her whips, she copied and pasted it into Word, sized to cut it out, glued it in. But
I could have copied her.
Good idea. Like I really want to do just like a little tiny photo printer, and then
so somebody, and I can't remember who it was I was talking to.
It was me.
Oh, that was you. I was going to say it's somebody in this group bought a little printer, but all I did was I printed them out on just my color printer and glue sticked them in. So I have a mock-up, like this is just a mock-up picture of the complete finish, and this is where I was at the beginning of the year, and I just glued them in for each one. I stole the idea from Mel.
Well, not all of us have printers, so
it was my Christmas present from my husband. This is it here, and it's just got little sticky rolls inside it. I'm on the purple roll at the moment, and I just printed out some photos onto it and stuck them in. Done it for the 2024 progress for the whole year one for the different
Yes.
ones. So
I'm
yeah,
totally taking your idea.
but
Yeah, so it's just little black and white because it's thermal, so there's no ink to it or anything.
yeah,
That's why those are handy.
Okay.
but like I've printing out like little things that I find and sticking them in as well, like the that little purple thing there, which is quite sweet. It says, "In case no one told you today, you are beautiful and deserve unlimited craft supplies." So I thought that was quite nice, and I thought it was like, that's going in. That's definitely going in.
Sticker made.
And I bought the cat pattern last week as well. That was on the new one, the Reasons
Secretly
Why
a
I'm a
Cat.
Cat.
Yeah.
So I printed out the cover picture to put in what I bought as well then as well. So that's on there as well. So I've been printing out loads of stuff with it and just sticking it.
What was the name of the printer again? Because Jericho's just asking.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
What's the brand?
I'll write it in the
Oh,
group.
Memo is what another Heather is saying.
Yeah, for Memo.
Oh, Memo.
PHO and then Memo.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that's it there.
As we all
Nice
pull
and
out
portable.
our phones and
Yeah.
go on to Amazon.
Add to cart. Add to cart.
Yeah,
Right, I'm
my
gonna
husband got me it and it's been brilliant. So I'm like, oh yeah, let's print stuff out. He was like, do for uni.
Because I'm a legend.
He's just popped in and said, because he's a legend.
Yeah, of course he is.
Good job, hubby. Good
He was
job.
like, oh, I'll do you for uni stuff. And I'm like, yeah, photos for me.
Yeah.
There
Uni
we go.
stuff.
I'm gonna have to let go. My tablet's about to die. But
Thank
it
you
was
for
really
hanging
nice.
out.
It was really nice chatting with everyone.
Thanks for showing
And
the
you.
butterflies.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, this is my small person just coming for
Oh,
bedtime.
look, another little small person. Yeah, that's right. Bedtime over there.
Yeah, this is Alex, and it's his bedtime, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep. So you go say night to everyone.
Good night.
Hope you
Night
look
night.
Night-night.
Sleep well, mister. Love you.
When I remember there was one time I did one of these and I really wanted somebody from Australia to come and I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to make the times work. So another Sam that's in the group, she was up at I think I had her up at 5 a.m. She's like, you're lucky I love you. I'm like, but it's
So
hard
I
to
think-
get everybody.
This is quite a good time as well. Sort of 7 o'clock for me
Yeah.
personally, especially for if any of the members of the group as well are in the UK, because it's the sort of time when kids have just sort of gone to bed or they're just going to bed. So it's your sort of first bit of time on your own and where you've got a bit of time in the evening.
Yeah,
as
I'm
well.
noticing that too, even with the comments, because there was a couple people here that had said they were from Scotland.
Yeah, it was a couple.
And then Jericho is over on your side too. So I'm noticing a lot of them are popping in more than normal because I think the time is just working out a bit better. So usually I've done them a bit earlier in the day, but we'll have to just back and forth. Next weekend we're gonna do with Michelle. She's gonna go over using the planner in the digital form. So she's got it set up so she can screen her iPad. I think it's her iPad. Her husband has it set up for her. So I'm gonna pop in with her and I'll just kind of whatever questions people have in the chat, and she's going to kind of explain how to use the digital version for anybody who's never done digital planning, because it takes a bit of finesse to get it all loaded and used to writing that way. So that'll be next weekend, and then I'm hoping maybe the weekend after to have some of the folks that have created their own printed planner. So if they couldn't afford to get these ones shipped out and they've kind of made their own ones, I may have some of them in if I can round up a couple Stitchees that are crafty in that way and have made their own planners.
I use the printed one in association
Oh,
with,
Michelle's actually
with
here.
the printable one. I use it in association. I use the two of them together. So so I've got a portable one for when I'm at work and I can bring it home easy rather than taking the big one with me where with the environment that I work in and things that it can get damaged and stuff.
Too
right?
much, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I use the two of them in conjunction with each other. So
yeah, for the first couple years, that's what I was doing too, because I was still working outside of the house, so I wouldn't want to bring it with me. But then I'd think of all these ideas because I use mine both for stitching and for everything stitchy related, right? So it's kind of got my whole stitching life is in here on both sides. So if I think of ideas and stuff, I'd write them in the printed, the digital version, and then I'd go home and write it down. So now it's nice that I can focus in one book.
I'm interested in the one next week though, learning how to do it on my phone because I've never even considered it because I thought, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's for young people who know what they're doing, not those of us who are getting a little bit older and not
Oh, you're
quite
gonna
so
come.
savvy.
This is one of my little ones.
Oh,
She's my assistant. She's always on my desk with me, and she sits so nice. She'll just sit here and stare at me, usually right where my mouse is, but she just leaves me be. So.
For pets.
Yeah, one pet of 3. All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for coming. We're gonna call it a day for this one. Michelle is in here. She said if anybody thinks of anything they want to see or questions in regards to digital planning, if you pop comments into the chat of this video or you let me know in a private message, I can give her a list of questions and things she can go over when she's in there. That'll be next Saturday at 1 Eastern that we're doing that one. The event is in the group too, so you can go click in there, and if you put attending, it'll remind you when it goes live. And we're going to do the same kind of format as this. It's just going to be me and Michelle. And she's got a nice way to screen shade. Michelle said she's old and was able to figure it out. So she'll help you.
good.
All right, so we will be back here again next Saturday. Thank you, ladies, for hanging out.
Thank you very much.
And we will talk to everybody next weekend.